नमस्कार दोस्तों, I welcome you again on my channel The Pearl Innovations. Friends, आज मैं बात करने वाली हूँ नाटा टेस्ट के बारे में. So, if you want to be an architect or you want to participate in this beautiful field of architecture, Nata test is an important one. Nata stands for National Aptitude Test in Architecture. It is the test which is designed by the Council of Architecture, and it is, to measure the analytical reasoning of the participant or the student. It analyzes the creative thinking of the person, the observation skills of the person, and a lot more. This test has two parts. One, the drawing one, and the other is the MCQs type, which is taken on the laptop or the computer. The student is given 4 options with each of the questions, and he has to select the appropriate answer to that question. In the drawing part, the students are given 2 questions. The one question is about maybe scaling up of objects or scaling down of objects and shading them. The other one can be creating or drawing a particular scene. That scene can be a landscape view, an urban scape, a view from a busy street. It can be a view from a village scene where ladies are fetching water from the well, etc. So let's talk about it in a little detail. This test has 2 parts. Since the first part is for your analytical reasoning and your general knowledge about the architecture field. How much you know the architecture, how much deeply you are aware of your surroundings. The questions are very general. They may be related to the national or international buildings, national or international architects. इसके अलावा there may be some questions related to the very common materials, जैसे कि stones, brick का size. There may be some kind of a question like पाकिस्तानी पत्थर कौन सा है. This may be the onyx, the granite, the marble or any other. So you have to select the onyx option so that you can be given the positive marking. Similarly, you may be shown a particular picture, a particular image of a building, and you will be given 4 options to select the appropriate answer. You may be shown the Taj Mahal or the Burj Khalifa or any other important building. Apart from this, you can be given a question related to the architect, like who designed Chandigarh, and you will be given 4 options, out of which you have to select the appropriate answer. That is the answer may be Le Corbusier. The question can also be on related to the analytical reasoning, which can come from your mathematical preparations. You can also be given some kind of the plan of an image, and you will be asked that what should be the elevation of this particular plan. So that you have to select, and you will be in the positive marking. The other questions that you have to attempt on paper are the drawings. They are specially to measure the drawing skill of yours or the observation skills. How is your what is the sense of proportion or scale in your mind, how much creative you are. For example, you may be given a composition of cones with one sphere, and you have to create another size, another double size of that particular composition, and you have to shade it or you have to color it in the crayons. Similarly, you can be asked to draw a particular scene or a particular composition from 5 kitchen utensils. Apart from this, you can be asked that make a few pottery objects and club them and put them in a way that the composition is looking very beautiful. Plus, you have to put light somewhere, and you have to show the shades as well, कि shadow कहाँ से आ रही है, light कहाँ से पड़ रही है, which portion of the pottery objects will be brighter and where will the shadow fall. So these are the things that you have to put in your drawing. So your observation skills, your creativity, plus how efficiently you sketch that thing, how efficiently you show the shades, the texture thing, the use of pencil, then the use of pencil, when to use 8B, when to use the 6B pencil, how to sketch, which pencil should be used to sketch to sketch that particular drawing or that particular sketch. All these things matter. Nata is not just that you are good in drawing, and also it is not just that you have a very good knowledge of architecture. It is a holistic test which is to analyze your knowledge plus your observation plus your drawing skills. So this is about Nata, and since these 3 questions in a total carry 200 marks, so it is very important for you to score at least 80 marks. These days the pattern is like you will have one exam in March. If in case you qualify that and you are happy with your marks, that's okay. Apart from this, Nata offers you, and the council gives you a privilege to attempt this test again in September. So if you are not happy with your marks, you can again give the test, and luckily if you score more than that, more than your previous exam, the next test will be considered as your efficient Nata test, and the higher score will be considered your eligibility. So this is about the Nata marking. Now comes the Nata test centers. When you fill the receipt or fill the form for your Nata test, it will generate an admit card for you. In that admit card, you will be mentioned with different colleges, the different centers. Earlier what used to happen, there were so many colleges in architecture, and all of them had the privilege of offering and conducting the Nata test. But these days there are only specific test centers available for the Nata test. So you will be given option in your admit card itself that where you can give the Nata test. You will get the result within 1 week, and if you score more than 80, then that's very good and appreciating. But if you are not able to succeed, then you can attempt that in the other one. Like if you have a less score in March, so you can have the other test in the September month. Now I will show you some examples how to practice for the Nata test, especially the drawing things. I am showing you, this is a picture of a shoe shop which I was practicing when I used to practice Nata. This is an inside view of a shoe shop where I have shown the perspective view. You can see here is the vanishing point, and here you can see all the shoe racks, and there is a table, there is a not table but the couch where the people and the customer sits, and this is the stool where the shopkeeper sits, and here is a lady who has just entered into the shop. So this is how you show a perspective view. So you need to practice this thing, and also you need to be very good in coloring also, so that you can very well differentiate your objects from the other. Apart from this, there is another sketch in which I have shown a landscape view. This is a hot region, especially a desert area. You can see the sun, you can see I have used the hot colors. So it depends on the question, that what kind of question you have to solve. Apart from this, there should be a practice of some kind of facial expressions, human expressions. You should also be very much in your you should be very clear with the proportions of a human body, of an automobile, of a animal. So you should also practice all of them. Also you should be a very observant kind of a person, that if you have used a torch, so what kind of brightness is that torch giving, what kind of shadows are getting casted because of that. If you are in a candle light, what kind of shadows are casting in that particular light. If you are using a bulb or a lamp, what would be the difference in the shadows casted by that particular luminary object or the luminous object. when I was preparing for Nata exam, so it was very difficult for me to, observe what kind of questions will be there, because there were no, particular kind of coaching at that time available. I'm talking about the Nata of year 2008. So it was very difficult in that time to practice what kind of questions would be there, what kind of color pencil should I carry with, me to draw and to sketch all those stuff whichever will come in the paper. But nowadays we have so many institutes which are, offering the coaching classes, some for 30 days, some for this much hours and all that stuff. So this time is actually, very fruitful and very special, and of course very privileged that you can get into any architecture college with your good Nata score. When I was preparing for Nata, I faced a lot of problems. I used to, read a lot of books. I used to solve a lot of analytical problems which were never even in the course of BIAG. They never came in the curriculum. But I'm happy that I was too much into that I could practice a lot of things. I used to read about the stones. I used to read in details about the buildings and a lot of things. I used to sketch the 7 wonders of the world कि हो सकता है इसमें से ना question आ जाए, उसमें से ना question आ जाए. तो it's a good way of, if you are deeply concerned with anything, तो आज नहीं तो कल वो आपके काम आएगा ही आएगा. And same thing happened with me. So when I went for the Nata test, and I was just, I gave the test in Vastukala Academy. It's opposite to Jawaharlal Nehru University. So I was like very confused and very nervous, but the test went very well, and I was very comfortable when I was sketching, because I got to work on a view. I had to sketch the view of a rainy day, and I was to color that. And at that time scaling up का question आया था. I was given some kind of a composition, and I was to scale up, twice. It was to be scaled up 2 times, and then it should be redrawn and shaded. So it was fun for me, and I cleared the test with good marks, and I got into Gateway College of Architecture and Design, where again I learned a lot of things. And whatever I learned in that particular, preparation time, that helped me a lot and is helping even today. So I think Nata is the first step that you have to clear to get into an architecture college. And apart from that, your will, your mindset is very important, that yes, I want to do architecture, because architecture is not just anything. It's a big field. It needs your holistic approach in that. Physically, mentally, spiritually, you have to be in that. So all the best for all the people who wants to be an architect and who are willing, and of course they have to pass the Nata test. I hope you liked the video. Keep watching The Pearl Innovations. Thank you.